All right, hey guys, this is your Unit 9 CBA review help video. This is not the answers, this is just to help you. So I'll post the answers on Tuesday before your actual test next Wednesday. So let's look at this review. A rectangular poster in Mr. Davidson's room has an area of A square centimeters. The base of the poster is 12.5 centimeters, which equation represents H, the height of the poster in centimeters. So, first of all, keyword here is rectangular. So that means that I know that the area of a rectangular shape, so a rectangle or a parallelogram, is area is equal to base, little b, base times height. Now they're looking for the height. They know the base is 12.5, so the area is equal to 12.5 multiplied by the height. However, because they're looking for the height, they want to make sure that it's equal to h. So if we're going to multiply 12.5 times h to get a, that means we need to divide our area by 12.5 to get h. You're going to be doing the opposite. So figure out which one that might look like. All right. Using the two squares below, answer the following questions. All right. So we've got an area in this square of 36 square inches, a perimeter of 24 inches, area of 81 square inches, and a perimeter of 36 inches. So first of all, I want you to recognize if it's a square, that means all four sides are the same. If the pattern continues, which equation can be used to find A, the area of a square that has a perimeter of P units? So if we're thinking about it, how did we get from 36 to 81, a perimeter of 24 to 36? How much is it growing? How much is it changing? That's what they're asking you to think about. So go ahead and work your best to see what's happening, what pattern is happening to our area and our perimeter. Okay. So, Carlos wants to find the area of the parallelogram shown below. He decomposes the parallelogram and rearranges the parts to form a rectangle with an equivalent area. So in other words, he took this little triangle and moved it to the other side, the same shape. Which equation could Carlos use to find the area of the parallelogram? All right, y'all can figure this out. Remember, parallelogram means the area is equal to the base multiplied by the height. A building at Red Oak Middle School has a perimeter of 357 kilometers. What's the perimeter of the building in meters? All right, so first off, you're going to set up a proportion, which means that you need one side that's your unit rate. That means you need to look at, if we're going from kilometers to meters, how many meters are in a kilometer, kilometers in a meter? Look at your star chart, because that's going to tell you what your unit rate is. And then, remember, if you decide to put kilometers on top, keep it on top over here. Meters on bottom over here. You're just going to continue whatever pattern you choose. And the only information we have here is 357 kilometers. Okay. Once you have your proportion set up, remember that you multiply diagonally, so you cross multiply, and then you divide by the number that's left. So if I had a number here and here, I would multiply this way. There would have to be a number here, and I'd divide by that number. Remember what we did? We made an arrow and another arrow. Okay. Noelle has a dog that is 3 feet and 6 inches tall. What is the height of the dog in inches? So again, we're going to have to figure out, how do we get from feet to inches? Now this one is something that may seem obvious to you, and in your head you already know. Okay, my unit rate is going to be 1 foot, means 12 inches. And so you're going to make sure that if you put feet on top, you put feet on top over here. If you put inches on bottom, you put inches on bottom over here. Now, so you're going to put that 3 in your X. And you're going to cross multiply and then divide. But all that gives you is how many inches are in 3 feet. So make sure that you're continuing to keep that extra 6 inches in your answer. That's going to make a big difference. All right. The rectangle below represents the bottom of a box that Juliet is making to fill with craft supplies. Use your ruler to measure the dimensions of the rectangle to the nearest ½ centimeter. Okay, ½ centimeter. That make sure that you are understanding ½ centimeter. Now, it is super, super important that you guys are familiar with how to measure because that is part of your test. So I'm not going to measure this for you. I need you to practice that. If the height of the box is 10 centimeters, what is the volume of the box? What is the volume of the box? Remember, volume is different from area. Make sure you're using the correct formula. The formula should be volume is equal to base, big B, that means the area of your base multiplied by the height. All right. John is laying tile. The drawing of the piece he needs is shown. Use your ruler to measure the dimensions of the piece of tiles needed to the nearest ½ inch. Which measurement is closest to the area of the tile needed in square inches? All right, so you're gonna have to measure your base and your height. And the height is always perpendicular to the base, remember that. And to find the area of a triangle, area is equal to 1/2 base times height. Or you could say area is equal to base times height divided by 2 for a triangle, whichever one you want to use. So you have to find the base and the height, you have to plug it into your formula, and then get the answer. Holly has to lay carpet for a room that is shaped like a trapezoid. The dimensions of the room are shown in the diagram. What is the area of the room in square feet? So the area of a trapezoid is equal to 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 multiplied by the height. You can also write this as base 1 plus base 2 multiplied by the height, all divided by 2. Remember, multiplying 1 by 1/2 is the same as saying divide by 2. So you're going to have to find the area of the room in square feet. The only things that matter are the bases and the height. And the height is always perpendicular to the bases. It is important that you understand perpendicular means it forms a right angle with the bases. So be careful not to use what we called our dumb sides, because that would be a big mistake. So, based on the given triangle, what information is true? We have to figure out angle is angle B smaller than angle C, angle A larger than angle B. Think about how we would know this. We learned about opposite angles. What's it touching? So, 7 centimeters touching B and C. So its opposite would obviously be A. Practice that. Remember what we talked about. Cover them up if you need to, or come and ask questions if you've completely forgotten that skill. The final question is weirdly printed. What is the measure of angle V? Record your answer on the grid below. So obviously this question goes with this triangle. So every triangle you add your 3 angles to get 180 degrees. So if you're given 2 of them, what is going to be the third? Make sure that when you're doing this, and this should have a positive or negative over here. I'm not sure why it doesn't. If you end up with remember Remember, this is your ones place. This is your tens, hundreds, and then thousands. Please, please, please be careful when you're bubbling this in. This is tenths because it's behind the decimal, and this is hundredths. You don't need to write that on your paper, but it's incredibly important that you bubble this correctly. I know a lot of us are still struggling with that. If you need me to sit down with you and practice that, please come in and let's talk about it and figure it out together. So that is our review just in general, an overview of exactly what it is that you're being asked to do so that you can hopefully better solve your review. And we will go over this on Tuesday in class, and I'll also post the video of all of the answers. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.